joining in. This week, I have something on my heart, like many weeks. You know what? It's really funny. I feel like a lot of the topics I share come to me like post nap or waking up. And this one is no different. This week, I was on a plane and, I was taking a little nap as you should after you were traveling as much as I was last week. But I didn't want to miss the pretzels and snacks and drinks. So I woke up as I heard them going by, and they offered a cookie to the lady next to me, and she said, no. And she said it with like a very yeah, absolutely not. That is not something that my taste buds jive with at all. And she turned to me and she said, it's really too sweet. And it got me thinking how many other people on that plane are asking for that cookie. And for them, it's a delicious treat. They're very happy to receive it. But what hit me, and maybe I hope you follow this because it really hit me post nap time, fog, but good fog, really deep. It was how not just our palate, but our palate for life is trained on what we are exposed to. And oftentimes, the more we are exposed to something, the more we consume, the more we eat something, the less potent we experience it. Unless we stay very aware of it. So if we disconnect our awareness, it's easy to consume something that is very sweet, right? Naturally, I think our body kind of tells us oh, that's a little too much sugar in your blood. That might not be, but when it is so introduced across so many different ways, you consume it and you don't even know. And I really want you to follow where I'm going to go with this. And I know as listeners, you get to follow my brain and how it thinks a little. But what I extracted from that was sometimes I get very frustrated by how people talk about love. Because I know it's something that, everyone, it's very common to want, to share, to seek out. And I hear people that I respect say things like, you're going to find love one day. Or, you're just going through this season. It's okay. And I understand that there are seasons that are hard. But I think we've just been so exposed to so much love, everyone, that we sometimes forget how much we have. And I think we forget what it really means. And I say this because love to me is not from another person. It's not the basis of even care. For me, it's almost just the purity of just existing and being able to observe other things existing too. That shared energy that you get to be in a space and you just merely being in the space shifts everything. You observing the tree observing you. That exchange is love. And I get, we talk about love a lot as nurture or romance. And I think in the definitions we use that as part of it. But what I'm referring to is the true beauty, joy, and realizing that you exist. That you are having experiences that you get to see and interact with and be part of. To me, I think we lose sight of that sometimes, and that is very powerful. Because we are constantly seeking something else, and it's what you're seeking is already right there. It might even feel sometimes like life is underwhelming because you're exposed to so much. every breath, every light you get to see, everything you get to touch. Like maybe we're exposed to so much. It's so sweet that we become bored with it. That our palate needs something even that heightens it. And then when we get that heighten, right? Maybe it's romance, maybe it's job or whatever we're seeking for. We get it, and it feels good for a while on our palate. It's new, it's novel, it's sending all the right signals. But even that, I've noticed for many, they get bored with it. Again, they realize that taste, the first time you taste something, the first time, your brain is like, whoa, that was new. Whoa, that was sour. Whoa, that was sweet. That it might enjoy it again and again, but you're seeking something, and every time it's not as heightened as the first. And it really made me think about what we decide to consume and how we consume it. And I don't just mean like in our taste buds, like, yes, this stemmed from a cookie on a plane. But I mean in life, what we consume. The pillars that I've talked a lot about in my work, and I've talked the least about command, because command it's really like talking about capacity, clarity. That's pretty straightforward. Most people are aware of those two. Command, and not control, but what real command is. It is very different, and it is very robust. And when it comes to like choosing what you consume in your life, you truly have to have command over it. Because a lot of us are eating mindlessly. And I mean like day to day. Like we live in such a state of like go, 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 that you don't even consume the good that is in front of you sometimes. And I say you, and you should know anytime I say you, I mean me too. I'm speaking from this because I am also part of this. The consumption of life without realizing it means that you miss so many beautiful things. I think like looking back and talking to children, or even going back to your own childhood where you maybe experience like small things like book fairs, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got an eraser today. That was amazing. My friend gave me a picture they drew in my favorite color. I feel so appreciated and loved. I got to see a rainbow. That was pretty exciting. I did a science experiment. I learned something new. All of these ahas, all of these moments where it should be filling you up and the goodness of the experience that you get to have. We get to a place in life where I feel like the system that once was about curiosity and joy and presence and understanding and experiencing has shifted to like, I don't want to say just like shifting into neutral, but for many I think it's like a lack of awareness around the good that you can consume because you are going at such a high speed that even pausing a second to be aware of it, to really feel it, almost for some feels like not an option. And I think that really is what I don't like. But what I am feeling called to like share, which is if you find your life boring, it is up to you to find the joy in it. And if you think that that joy is from seeking more heightened experiences, you will always be seeking more heightened experiences. The experience right now of being able to move and experience and think and see and love and feel emotions, and no matter the emotion that you're feeling, man, that's richness. I had, and I've shared some of my experiences along the way. I had one, and for years I was kind of like confused. I wasn't confused. I was angry. I was angry, and I was angry about why I was back here. And so I asked one day, why am I back here? And I got an answer. And I've shared that answer in other episodes. And that really shifted everything for me. It made me realize that I asked to have this experience, to experience everything. Not just the good, but everything. And that having that is a gift. One that maybe we're so submerged in the middle of we've lost sight of. And I think part of this experience is to lose and regain sight. In a way. But I hope that you find the sweetness in things that aren't that sweet. And I don't mean toxic positivity. I get really upset at toxic positivity. I'm a very positive person, and I've had really negative people say like, oh, that, but you can't just be okay with that. That's toxic positivity. And I'm like, your negativity is toxic. We had to call positivity toxic because you were just completely negative. And I'm a real person with real feelings. And so when I say like you have to find the sweetness, I don't mean disregarding what you experience in that moment at all. I feel like it's important to actually state exactly what you're going through, which is kind of counter to what I've heard some people share around positive thinking or mindset. They're like, if you say it, then that means you're declaring that you're that. And I don't have that belief. I think that it's okay to say exactly how you feel. I think if I had a palette of colors in front of me and I chose the blue and I put the blue on and I painted it, I can say, right now I am blue, and still have an understanding that it's going to turn into purple. I can know that this is where I am right now. That doesn't mean that that is where I think it will continue to be or how it will be used. And maybe that moment of blue is just supposed to be there. That's okay. In fact, I think sometimes the more you try to suppress or talk yourself out that you're not like, I'm great, I'm happy, I'm not sad, you just make it worse. You need to be gentle, and you have feelings to feel them. And that hence why we call them feeling. And I think that that's okay. I really do think that life is sweet, and I want people to enjoy the sweetness of their own life as well, and not be as maybe forward-seeking of their palates. I hope that this connected with you, and in some way this week that you find the goodness, you find the sweetness. You don't need to wait for a big vacation or a raise or winning the lottery or finding the love of your life to find so much sweetness right here, right now, that maybe you've become a little nose blind to. Well, I hope that you have an amazing week. As always, you know I'm sending a lot of love. Thank you for tuning in to Gathered Glow, and I will see you next time.